this wonderful gentleman to help choose this next guy for you. My recommendation goes to TC. They know how I feel about TC. I want TC, and several of the staff members are going to be retained here, but that's mine. I would love for someone in-house, because I don't really know how y'all would act with somebody outside the house coming in to really not understanding how we function and how we get down. So that's my recommendation. So just glad.
Heritage Sports Podcast, and you heard Coach. Coach wants TC to take over at Jackson State. TC has been a quarterback at Jackson State and been around the program for many years. He thinks, Deion said in the clip, Coach Prime said in the clip, he feels a person needs to be from inside the culture to continue it, basically having that background of knowing what the program was before, what it was when Coach Prime got there, and trying to take the next step. Or he said you got to go completely different. So we're going to go over a few candidates that's actually being reported in the news, not rumor mill. The 15 candidates or so that are being discussed at Jackson State. We're also going to discuss when the hire is going to happen. We have some sources saying it's going to be really soon. And we're going to talk about the buyout. Jackson State has some money coming to them from Deion because he left a little early. And I'm going to give you a mystery candidate. I don't think he's being considered, but I think Jackson State should really go after this guy. I think he would be ideal fit. It's just going to, you got to make the money work. All right, let's just go ahead and dive right in. So like the clip said, TC Taylor has been there for a while, but that's who Deion wants. This is being reported by Kyle Mosley, fantastic writer. He says the number one person is Shanice Berry, who's at a Benedict College head coach. He essentially has turned around the program. The interesting name, even though Willie Simmons has come out and said he's staying put, he dodged the USF rumors and the FAU rumors from what I understand. But, that doesn't negate some kind of conversations are happening, either directly or indirectly, back channels. I think Willie Simmons should be the number one person Jackson State should go after outside of the candidate I'm going to give you. But if he doesn't come, he doesn't come. It happens. He feels may be comfortable there. Tallahassee's a nice city, and they have great culture there. So I can understand that. Everyone else on the list is basically all over the place. This is Gary Harrell. He's been on the staff and was an interim coach a little bit last year. He mentions Vincent Dancy, but he joined Coach Prime on his staff. There's Jerry Mack, there's Quentin Morgan, there's Antoine Swell, Dennis Thurman. I don't know if he's a fantastic defense coordinator. I don't know if that's what he wants to do to be a head coach. I believe he's been on clip saying that's not what he wants to do, and that's why he's always been a coordinator. Herman Edwards, super interesting. I think Herman said, I know for a fact he said at Arizona State this was his last coaching job, but you never know. Damon Wilson, Trey Oliver, who is going to be playing them in a few days, Reginald Ruffin, Alvin Parker, and Dwayne Taylor. Very good list. I think you got to understand you coming into a really, really good football team, even with the transfers that are happening or the potential departures from the team. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to give you the mystery candidate right now. His name is actually a coordinator. He's a coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals. His name is Vance Joseph. Yes, first of all, he's a New Orleans kid. He's a kid from the South. He went to Colorado, played at Colorado, had an NFL career, and just went into coaching. Some of you all may know he ended up being a Denver Broncos head coach. He wasn't a coach long there. He's one of the few black coaches in NFL history, and he got maybe a year and a half or 2 years, whatever it was, and he moved on, and he ended up at Arizona Cardinals. He's been the defensive coordinator there since 2019. I can tell you everybody in Arizona is on the hot seat. He's a damn good coach. They have a damn good defense, but the team needs to win, and that's just the bottom line business in the NFL. Now, I looked up how much NFL coordinators typically make, that around $1 million. I'm not saying he is. That's just basically the average. Arizona is known to be a cheaper franchise, so it wouldn't surprise me if he's actually closer to 500K than $1 million. So everyone knows Coach Prime's contract was $300,000. Would he take that chance to be the head coach at Jackson State? I don't know, but I damn sure would ask him the question, especially if things don't work out the next year and they bring in a new coach, or they want to bring in a new system, like a new scheme defensively and offensively, to see if they can turn the team around. That means he's going to be out of a job. And yeah, he can go get any NFL job, but why not return south? Why not give this a chance? You have all the connections from Coach Prime, and playing at Colorado, you're going to have some resources available to you as far as picking up the phone and saying, hey, I got this teammate, I got that teammate, I got this player that I need to talk to. What's their story? He comes in, say if he's at the same price tag, $300,000, and he has the NFL experience. Kids can go to him and say, you know what, I want to play for him. He's young. He knows what he's talking about. He's going, if you ever hear him talk, you see him on Hard Knocks, he can connect with younger players because he has a younger defense, with the exception of J.J. Watt. So think about that. He's I think attainable, especially if, a head coaching job is not out there in NFL. Can he go to HBCU, turn it around, and then, it is what it is. He's going to be attractive to other programs and other franchises as far as the NFL goes. But it will continue on in the tradition on what's going on and keep the winning going. And that's I think is the important thing. Okay. So as a lot of people have been saying in our comments, we want to only talk about stuff that's been reported. And I'm going to tell you that stuff that's been reported. This person has blue check. They don't have Twitter blue. No, this person is an actual reporter, and they've been on the ground at Jackson, and they've essentially said it's rumored that a hire could be announced in the coming days, and there's a reason for that. I don't know who the hire is. They did not say who the hire was or intimate who the hire was. But I will tell you the reason why they are starting to lose players. It is still 10 days, roughly, I would say now 7 to 8 days away from the Celebration Bowl. They are concerned that players may leave, and that's understandable. That players got to make the best choices for themselves, and that's completely acceptable. So today, the Jackson State University linebacker Cole Coutron, he entered the transfer portal with 3 years left of eligibility. That is something they're worried about happening. They're 5-star recruits that they got to come to play with Coach Prime, and they may not want to go to Colorado, but they do know they don't want to stay here because the team could fall off a cliff, and where is that going to leave them? They are good, really good to blue chip players, and they are really worried about an avalanche coming, whether it's before the Celebration Bowl or after the Celebration Bowl. What kind of team will Jackson State be in the spring? So they want somebody in place calling the shots. Deion has been very, very vocal at who he wants to be coach, and the new scholarships that have been extended to high school seniors. By the way, when you see this on Twitter, I've seen that they've posted, hey, I got an offer from Jackson State. This is great. And they tag, a few position coaches, but they tag TC. And, maybe that's a little bit of the tea leaves, but I do know recruits need to know who they're going to and who they're going to be learning from. And they don't want to drop off. So I think that decision is going to come sooner or later, and that's actual reporter from a blue check Twitter reporter in Jackson, actually went to Jackson State, that is on the ground there. Again, they didn't say who it would be, but they said the decision could be sooner than later. Now, what does that mean for the Celebration Bowl? I don't think that means anything. I think Deion is dead set on, I'm going to coach this game. So he's going to love that team to life until he, moves on to his next chapter. Now, the other thing about this is interesting. Coach Prime actually has a buyout. There have been reports of it being $300,000. He signed a 4-year deal for $1.4 million. The buyout sum right now is $300,000 back to the university. He has to write that check to them. So you get a coach in place, you got a fresh, $300K one more time, and going from there, I think that's going to be vital, really, really vital going forward. Let me think what y'all know. Leave it in the comments. Who do you think is going to be the next head coach at Jackson State, and who do you want to be the next football coach at Jackson State? And remember, I'm not going to be commenting on rumor mill stuff. Some Jackson State official came out the other day and said, people have been honoring the contracts. Those things are rumors. So just going to talk about stuff that's been reported on this channel. We want to be as credible as possible. We're not a conspiracy type of channel. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank y'all so much for subscribing. Keep subscribing, and I'll talk to y'all then.
Don't jump in that portal, baby.
You won't be having that next year. Them boys better get right.